Welcome, everybody, to the HotS Discord Weekly North America number 7. I can't believe we've been doing this for 7 weeks already, and I welcome my co-caster once again, the very, very voluptuous Scapegoat.
Voluptuous. That's a great adjective. I think I will actually add that to my battle tag. Voluptuous scapegoat.
So, for those of us who are new joining us, why don't you tell us what this tournament is about tonight? I see we have some viewers from Chair League here who might be new to the tournament.
Pretty unique tournament we got going on here. Every week we have signups for our Discord channel. If you are not a member of that, we'll post that link up for you guys. You can become a member. And every week we put up signups and we disseminate all of the ranks throughout the 3 to 4 teams, depending on how many players we have sign up. And basically, all the teams are equally skilled by having a grandmaster or a master as their shot caller, and then we mix it up with diamond and platinums and golds and silvers and bronzes and make sure that there's a little bit of everything on each team. So not only are you learning, but you're actually learning from some of the best. So pretty cool stuff that goes on there. And since this is week 7, we've already had 6 previous winners. They've duked it out through, just about everything you can think of. We've seen Lost Vikings play. We've seen Zero Toll play. We've seen just all the things you don't normally see. But we'll get more into the comps a little bit later because we do have this ease of play that comes into factor here. It's a little bit more different from constructed tournaments, but yeah, it's really unique. So keep your eye out for that link and make sure you guys sign up for next week's tournament. They are every Sunday for the North America, and if you're happening to tune in from Europe now, they're actually on Saturdays on Europe.
Yeah, if you have any European friends, we did just start up the European version of this tournament every week, and it was pretty fun over there as well. So we'll see. So we should hope to see you there. And so last week, gosh, I don't remember what happened last week in number 6. It's all been a blur. Do you remember anything?
It was a fight to the end, if I'm not mistaken, that we did go to a game 3 a game 2 for our finals, because we have a winner's bracket and a loser's bracket. So I know that our losers came back, and if I'm not mistaken, they actually won from the loser's bracket. So that was pretty cool. That was wasn't that Team Awesome Pants, or is that Team Nice?
Last week was not. I think Awesome Pants was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. That's one I'm thinking of. Yeah, wow, I don't remember last week.
Yeah, last week. I don't know what happened. Someone help us. Send help. We're missing our memories. Usually I'm good at remembering, so I'm anyway, so if it is Noise Subs, at least last week Noise Subs? Anyway, I think maybe. Anyway, Team Flexor Noise Subs has returned, as you noticed, in their next reincarnation. Do you have the draft link? Sorry.
I do. We're actually going through the map bans right now. It's interesting too because on Heroes Draft, Braxis Holdout is already on there. So that was the first one banned out.
Yeah, you can kind of just ignore it though. I think. I don't know. Either way, yeah. So Flex Your Noise Subs 2, the second incarnation of the Noise Ups are here, and they were champions one of the weeks. I think it might have been last week. And
yes.
And then we have Team Li Ming is Bad, who I think is led by Ji, who we played with last night actually in Team League. And he carried us pretty hard, so he should be a very good. He was very good at the shot calling from personal experience speaking. So you would look forward to him gathering his team against a kind of incumbent champion in Flex and Noise.
Yeah.
And
I like these map bans that are coming out, leaving some of the best maps, Cursed Hollow and Infernal Shrines being the 2 that I love the most. So we're going to be on Cursed Hollow or Sky Temple here. This is going to be the choice of Team Li Ming Bad. They basically pick the map.
My favorite map to watch is Towers of Doom, though. I gotta say, because you see the different strategies. There's always a chance of a comeback on that on that map, no matter how low your core is. As long as you can control every shrine, you're gonna do it. And we have ended up on Cursed Hollow. Now, this is one of the very large maps that could lend itself to something like Vikings or Abathur play. Hope we might get to see some of that. Some of the pro teams has been favoring Medivh on this map as well. I don't know if we're gonna see that though.
Yeah, as we were talking about earlier, the ease of play is something that we really have to keep focus of here because not only are these teams made up of players that haven't played much, if at all, together, but also a mixed base of players that have experience and some that don't. So you probably won't see somebody execute a Lost Vikings composition in these tournaments as often as you would in a pro tournament on these maps, or even something like an Abathur composition, because of the required teamwork. You have to be really comfortable with even just the tiniest little nuances that your teammates do as you're navigating through the map and you're trying to make your way towards objectives. So it's really difficult for a team to huddle around and come together on a harder to play character.
Yeah. So let's talk about the bands. We have Falstad and Tyrael. No
Yep.
surprise here. So Falstad with his global mobility is very good on these large maps. I mean, with Gust, he's also good on small maps, but he's kind of been the dominant range DPS we've seen in all competitive and amateur competitive tournaments as well. Even on Hero League, he's very popular ban or pick. And then Tyrael with his sanctification and his holy ground zone control is super good at sealing bosses on this map, as well as blocking off all the many chokes that are around the tribute. So no surprises there. And then we get to see the first pick is Li Ming, who is super good on this map because there isn't a lot of stuff in the way to block her poking, and she is one of the queens of poke.
Yeah. They respond with their own mage of Kael'thas, and they end up picking up Zagara too. Now, Kael'thas, not I'm I'm not upset at the pick of Kael'thas. I'm a little disappointed in that pick, only because of the lack of poke that he actually does have around those tributes. He really has to get in there, so it's going to really be he's going to be really vulnerable as he gets towards the front line. So the fact that they don't have something like a Tyrael or something like that yet makes me a little bit concerned. But Zagara, the pick up there, that's just I can't believe Li Ming was prioritized over Zagara. I was a little confused there, only because of Zagara's Nidus network that's been in favor more than Ma. And you just split push to win, and just you win by giving your team a giant EXP gain lead, and you just take it from there and you snowball. So I was surprised that she got through, but yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah, especially that they had second pick. It's weird to see that Zagara wasn't picked first or banned in in the first ban phases. Now the Kael'thas pick, I don't think, like you said, is it that bad, but having him picked in the first round is quite strange. I think he often just makes it through bans and picks regardless. So
More chokes coming out on the tanks, though. We got Johanna and ETC banned. As you were talking about with those choke holds before, Johanna and ETC, great at controlling those choke points. ETC with his Mosh and his power slide, really get in there and do some damage and body block. And then same thing with Johanna, being able to proc her unstoppable, condemn people, and keep them away from the tributes while blinding them. She's very versatile. But that was after the Rhaegar and Thrall picks, too. Do you think Thrall will be a solo laner here? Do you think he has enough to go against Zagara?
I don't think he can't win that lane. He's still gonna suffer some structural damage and be pushed back a bit. But of the solo laners that are at least in the current meta, he's probably the best at dealing with her. Maybe something like a Chen would be better, but you hardly see any Chens come out. So you kind of like pick your poison. You're gonna have to try and rotate on her. Thrall can threaten to kill her with the rotation. So, and we see one of the better rotation heroes come out, or ganking heroes rather, in Diablo. And of course, like I said, there are a lot of chokes around that tribute point. So Apocalypse gets more value on this map than any other. And I'm super surprised by the last pick of Vala, though. What does Vala add to this lineup?
See, Vala doesn't have the range. Vala has to be in there with Thrall and Diablo because her range is so short. But she also does provide that short bit of burst. from her multi-shot and Hungering Arrow, and then combo that off with like Rain of Vengeance. I think that's the only thing I'm thinking of here. Again, we do have to talk about the ease of composition here. Maybe there's a player on there that's just super comfortable with Vala, and they feel that that's the best hero that they can bring forward, and that of the heroes that they have, that would have been the best to aid the team. So there's always different ways that these heroes can get picked up. We don't really know, but that's definitely an option.
And we see on the other side, we have Oriole, Greymane, Muradin rounding up their lineup. Now, Muradin is one of the strongest tanks right now. Kind of even first picked or banned, well, not banned, but first picked a lot in competitive recently, picked up a lot in Korea, certainly, and, you know, one of my favorite tanks of all time, even before they nerfed him, after they nerfed him. He's mobile, he's got control, he's got damage, he can do a lot of damage. When he gets later on in the game, he heals himself up with healing static. Again, everyone's kind of in a tight choke, so he's going to get some value out of that. And yeah, just overall one of the best. And then Oriole, who, you know, when paired with Zagara or Kael'thas, is really not bad. If she can manage her crown control, where she puts the crown on Kael'thas as his damage is going off, and then switches it back to a more consistent DPSer like Zagara, she can get so much energy. And with the Aegis, assuming she takes that, which, you know, it has been the more popular pick, she can save whoever Diablo's going on to. If she's quick enough, she'll just have made Diablo charged in to his, you know, certain doom without being able to follow up on the stun. So we'll see what happens.
I did just get confirmation too that Team Leeming is bad. It's actually Blue 1442. Oh, I just made a lobby, but I'll join yours.
Sorry, I just joined Freaks. Yeah.
Oh, Freak already had one?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so sorry, what were you gonna say about Blue? Whatever?
Oh yeah, it's Blue 1442 on Team Leeming is bad, not G.
Oh, yes, okay, sorry. Yes, I see that now.
Yeah, I just got that. So
sorry. Yes, I just assumed she was trolling Freak, but apparently, nope. Okay, so
who do you?
We have a hobby up. Okay, so looking at these lineups, Team Flex Your Noiseps has so much damage. Like, every one of their heroes is one of the most damaging in their slots. Like, if Vala can get space, she can do a lot of work. So, and then Diablo, of course, is not the tankiest tank. He's more of a damaging tank. So, if they can get maybe like a flanking Thrall Sundering and then immediately blow someone up, they can do it, but they would have to get Oriole's Aegis out of the way somehow. So I just feel that Team Leeming is bad has an easier to execute lineup, and they in addition have Zagara to put on the lane pressure. So I have to favor Team Leeming is bad here.
Yeah, I do have to agree with the damage output that's on Team Flex Your Noiseps. It's very scary looking at that. Just one reset can really just start melting people. Greymane and Kael'thas have very low health pools, zero sustainability on the side of Greymane, so he's going to need to be babied, especially in those team fights. And then you only have like one really big health pool hero that has that self-sustain, and that's Muradin. And so for everyone else, you're going to be relying on Oriole, whereas on the other team, you have Li Ming has dominance, Thrall has his Frostmourne Hungers, I think it is. Rhaegar's his own healer.
Frostwolf Resilience, yeah.
Frostwolf Resilience. Frostmourne Hungers is Arthas. And then Diablo can come back with souls, so him dying too early, as long as he has souls, isn't terrible. And Vala can have self-sustain too. So you're looking at a complete self-sustain on Flex Your Noiseps versus having to rely on your healer on Team Leeming is bad. So I'm going to go with Team Flex Your Noiseps.
You know, you do bring a good point, because in the poke war, Flex Your Noiseps does have the advantage. However, that's where Diablo gets kind of no value, because he's not doing anything unless he's charging in. So, and when he charges in, he's going to die most likely. So I mean, they can be patient, and I hope they are, because they can wait for Li Ming to outpoke the entire fight. So we'll see what happens because they can try to flank with Muradin or something like that. They can try to flank with Muradin Greymane and blow someone up before Team Flexor and Noiseps can react. And if that happens, then they're going to win that fight. And if it doesn't happen, Muradin can still disengage, and so can Greymane sometimes. So like they have more ways of starting the fight than Flexor Noiseps, and so it will come down to execution, but I think Team Li Ming is bad is easier to execute. It requires less patience, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so we're just starting up we got everyone in the lobby, so we're just waiting to start up the game, and here we go. So most of the players are ready, so we're into game 1 of the HotS Discord Weekly North America number 7, and it should be quite exciting.
Something else to talk about too, seeing as how Diablo is not going to have his value, as you were saying, around these tribute fights. Something that they can do though is they can wait for that Li Ming poke to happen, and then they're going to have to respond to it. They have to stop Li Ming at some point. So they're either going to, depending on the location of the tribute, they're going to be able to either flank from one side to another, or they're going to be able to wait for them to engage on Li Ming, because they're going to have to obviously respond to her, like I was saying. So they can either respond to Li Ming by going directly to her, at which point Diablo can overpower or charge the person who comes out. Hopefully it's not Muradin. But even if it is, that's still tank off their front line, and then you can flank with the rest of your team around the back as Diablo pushes them into a tower or something, makes him back off a little bit. But there's so many ways that Diablo can become useful, but he has to rely on the rest of his team to do the work first. So then he can come in and almost play cleanup crew, but kind of just be like a director of cleanup crew. So he's just going to be like, all right, I'm going to grab this guy, I'm going to flip him over, and you're going to blow him up. And then I'm going to grab this guy, and I'm going to flip him over, and you're going to blow him up. So he's going to be directing all the kills, but he's not going to be able to do a lot of the damage around the tribute fights. But in lane, in pushing a lane and winning a lane, he's going to do fine. But it's his tribute fights he's going to have a problem with.
Yeah, it's like I said, it all comes down to him being patient and peeling for Li Ming or something like that instead of trying to go in. So, and then timing those apocalypses to maximum effect when the enemy team is going through those chokes. And so here we go. The first game has started, and this is kind of the lower bracket, sort of. Yeah, this is I guess it's the upper bracket, but the other team got a bye. So, between Team Flexor Noiseps and Team
Li Ming is bad.
Li Ming is bad. Jesus. And
Li Ming is good.
Yeah, well, I guess Li Ming ended up on the right team. I was gonna call out Team Li Ming is bad if they picked Li Ming. So actually one of their players has a Li Ming portrait. So
looks
what
like
up with
we
that?
got a little bit of trolling. Yeah, it's Super Chub that's trolling. Freak.
Yeah, what's up with that? You're really disrespecting your team, man. All right.
So Crusade Hollow, you're definitely one of the more unique maps as far as strategies and team strategies go. It's really interesting to see the 3-lane map and it extended to the distance that it is. This is just a massive map. There are mercenary camps. There's actually 2 mercenary camps on each side, and then a boss. So there are 4 total mercenary camps and 2 bosses on this map, both on reflective sides of the map. But before we get going any further, on Team Li Ming is bad in red, we have Blue 1442 playing Oriel, Subachub on Greymane, Garth Algar on Zagara, Muradin playing Zengo, and Kresrol on Kel'Thas.
And on Team Flexor Noiseps 2, Flex Squad and Noise once again reprising their roles on Li Ming and Vala, Unaleska on Rhaegar with her golden heels, and Diablo, or Hulk on Diablo, and up top we have Coda on Thrall, who looks like he's going to get a free lane, luckily for him.
Does go right in for Blue 1442. Wow, Rhaegar taking a lot of damage here. He is going to go down. Oh, excuse me, that was Diablo, not Rhaegar. That was Diablo. He's in blue as well.
Okay, I love that Rhaegar skin. So
Yeah.
amazing. The reindeer Rhaegar.
Can we just take a second to admire it?
The Rudolph Rhaegar skin, awesome. Look at it, look at
My
it. So pretty.
my sound was so loud. So we do see the teams split up after that little death ball mid, and Diablo going down first. But you see Thrall and Murden in the top lane. That should actually be Thrall's lane, because Murden's not going to be able to counter that. He'll be able to do a little bit of damage, but he's not going to be able to counter it. And you see a two-man, actually 2-on-2 down in the bottom lane. Garth Algar on Zagara is getting a lot of, wow, those missiles and orbs from Li Ming. Just really getting in there. Wow, Zagara just has no business being out there. There was no reason to be there. She didn't even have her healing fountain already healed up yet. She just tapped and went back out, and you can't do that against the Li Ming.
Yeah,
so Team Li Ming is bad as learning that Li Ming is not bad.
Yeah, the problem, yeah, this is a thing I've seen some a mistake that pub players have made is where, you know, they mistake that dark bar as your real bar, and it's not. It's coming later, so you gotta chill out for a little bit, especially since Zagara had someone else in lane soaking with her, so she didn't really even need to come up for experience. So
yeah,
they really need to watch.
The other thing is too is that Li Ming has power hungry, so she's already got that extra ability power, that extra 10% ability power this early in the game, and you know that's basically an entire level because levels are 8% swings, so she has an extra level every time she picks up a regen globe, which is just absolutely insane. So we saw Garth Algar feel the full wrath of that.
Yeah, so we see that the first tribute is happening up at top, and Zagara is going to be very late.
Double stun, triple stun onto Thrall. Dorthos is in. He is on fire. He actually sets Noise on fire. Hulk having to get out of there. He's actually, he may make it out of there if we get another Stormbolt. Stormbolt misses, but we're actually going to have Thunderclap take out Diablo. And Yunalesca is doing the best he can. Super Chub get chunked down by those magic missiles, also doing the best he can to zone out. So this is actually going to go towards Team Li Ming is bound. But if you notice, Zagara made that rotation. So they are going to be late getting back down to the bottom. So even though they got the first tribute, there's a very good possibility that they will not get level 7 balance first.
So I gotta call out. I mean, Blue, I guess, is the captain of the Li Ming is bad team, and so he probably is the highest ranked player. But he didn't shift his crown while Kael'thas was channeling the tribute at all, and he got like zero. He just walked around with zero energy for a long time. So I hope he recognizes that and fixes that in his play. And Zagara's in trouble again. Bottom.
She went around to the other side to put Creep Tumor, and then that Creep Tumor creeped out towards the towers on blue side, and so they knew that Creep Tower was freshly placed, so they knew she was coming around. Like, you have to be really careful with Zagara. Getting out of position with Zagara is not only detrimental to your team, but they just take out
Thrall's getting gone on, but he looks like he's gonna escape.
He just barely got out, yeah. You do see the teams rotate down here. Yunalesca just barely finishing the channel, and he is going to get the full channel here as the teams do come together as they force Noise to take the wrong way and separate from his team, and they take him down in the meantime.
Oh no, Zagara!
Zagara gets taken down, but Coda just standing there, just shooting people, just trying to get damage in with his lightning. I have no idea why he stood there. He was standing there. He knew all three were there.
Yeah, maybe he probably just thought he couldn't get away. Maybe he thought he could get a heal off it. Did he get a heal off it? I didn't see.
No, that was really, really awkward for him. And now they're trapped on the opposite way on the way out here. Yunalesca though going to go down. Super Chub chunks down completely. Wow, he is going to go down to that orb as Li Ming takes out another orb onto Kael'thas. Murden is actually body blocking Li Ming in here. She's barely going to get out of here.
Oh, Diablo does take out Kael'thas.
Dominance coming into play, refilling the health bar of Li Ming, trying to get the chase down, and Murden's going to go down 2 to Hulk, so very good job, but they are ignoring this Merc camp as the tower in the mid lane on the mid keep has already lost all of its ammo.
And the ding-ding-dings just keep coming out. Zagara is channeling and gets a free tribute up top while that is happening, and
there's no rotation from Team Flex or Noiseps too. There was just, I think they were too busy trying to chase down Ariel.
Yeah, so we see 5 kills apiece right now, but the Zagara team is losing in experience. Of course, later kills are worth more, so that's probably what happened. And we see a very interesting level 7 talent coming out from Thrall. He actually picked the Stone Wolves instead of Follow Through. I don't remember the last time I've seen that.
Yeah. Follow through is just so much damage. I mean, we did talk about how much damage they already had. The potential for morbid damage, though, isn't a bad thing. And I'm not sure what they're going to get done with that extra half a second of root. I'm not sure if there's anything that's going to happen there. The duration is already long enough for Liming to orb and missile, and it will connect just as they're getting out. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Very, very different talent choice there. As we do see the Calamity build come out from Liming, probably trying to do her best to clip that creep as a guard.
Oh, Zagar's gonna die again?
Overpowered right in. And
He is
Coda
definitely
is gonna
dead,
get this kill,
yeah.
Coda is going to get the kill with the lightning.
Now, I want to talk about the level 7 talent choice for Mirrodin as well. He took the Piercing Bolt. Now, the reason he took this, I'm guessing, is because he doesn't want, if he needs to interrupt the tribute gathering, he doesn't want anyone blocking for it, like Diablo. But I've really liked Momentum from back before it was changed to Ironforged even, because with the healing static, you get twice the heal. Oh! And Greymane went down in mid.
Right down there. Zengo is a little bit far out, but he is Mirrodin. He's going to get double stunned with the Sun Ring coming out as the heroic abilities are picked up for both teams. You're going to see Disintegrate on the blue 1442 as he gets that healing out onto both him and Zengo. Garth Algar rotating back down. Nobody in the bottom lane for Team Liming is bad. Liming is making that rotation down there, so she is good. So she's making
There's a gank coming up on Kel'Thas. He's dead. He's dead.
He's so far forward. This is just so bad. Yeah, he's going to die, and luckily Liming just barely got out of there. She had a 3-man rotation coming down to her too. Oriole doubled back to go onto Yunalesca in the mid lane, but Yunalesca went into wolf form and gets out. Looking at the health bars, everybody's about mid health on the side of Team Flexor Noiseps coming down from the top. So you actually see that Coda, excuse me, was it Coda? Coda tapped? No, it was Yunalesca that tapped. But we have full health bars on the side of Team Liming is bad, except Kel'Thas just came up as we see Rain of Vengeance come down and the APOC. Aegis comes out to stop the APOC. Mirrodin does get saved, but Greymane's going to go down in the process. So Zagar and Greymane down. It's 2 for nothing. Kel'Thas still not in this fight, as you do see Oriole try and get that sweeping strike out. And she is going to go down as well. Mirrodin taking a lot of damage. He's going to get rooted for the extra half a second. It's going to be just enough for Disintegrate. And you're going to see Diablo chase down Kel'Thas, just trying to do a little bit of zoning. That was a 4 for nothing.
Yeah, I have to question that. I have to question that decision for my team leaving is bad, because they were missing Kel'Thas. He was still dead. He was not going to make it to the fight in time, and they end up losing 4 for nothing and the curse. Whereas if they just given up the curse,
Vala did go down, so it was 4 for 1.
Oh, okay, sorry, 4 for 1. Yeah. But it just, why did they fight that? They could have just taken the curse. It's an early curse, so it might not have meant that much, and they could have tried to get kills defending. Yeah, they could have just tried to get
defending. Especially if you know your opponent's going to get a curse, you want to give it to him as early as possible.
Right, and what do I always say? Don't turn this losing in an objective into losing the game, and that could have been what they did there. Now there's a 2-level lead on Team Flexor Noiseps.
All the heroics burnt on the side of Team Flexor Noiseps, so they do not have the ability to engage in a fight. However, we do have Phoenix, Aegis, Maw, Go for the Throat, and Avatar back up in 7 seconds. So we do have all the heroic abilities available for Team Liming is bad, as you do see a 5-man scuffle over on the other side. Beautiful Maw trapping in 2 Flexor Noiseps. Noise taking a lot of damage. Does get the kill from onto Greymane, and Liming does get her resets right after Mirrodin died as well. Diablo does get the Ancestral, actually takes Darth Algar back, and an Aegis comes out onto Darth Algar. Great.
Oh, wow, it killed Thrall.
Thrall stood in the Aegis and actually died from it because he stood in there, as the fire continues to spread from Yunalesca, the Hulk, and Flex Squad, and they finally get out of there. And Hulk's going to get
almost stunned.
But the dismount also dismounted Oriole herself, so there was no follow-up.
And Rhaegar left a Christmas gift there for them. Did you see it had a little ribbon on it? It was great. Alright, sorry. I just really love that skin.
It looks like Team Liming is bad as rotating towards their boss. Not a bad plan, knowing that they all had to Hearth back. so it's going to be really easy for them to take this without being spotted out. And if they do decide to come up here, which is looks like they're rotating up to try and stop this,
They shouldn't be in time.
Yeah, they will not. I don't think they're going to be able
Vela
to
can
stop
get
this.
killed. She walked right through the creep.
Yeah.
Oh my
And they're not
goodness,
gonna be able
she's
to stop
lucky.
it, so
They
Now
do
watch
have
out
their
for
ults
boss
though.
roots, too. Noise taking a lot of damage.
Oh
Noise
no,
is actually gonna go
Sundering.
down
Only
here.
Sundering is up. Oh no, Greymane! Greymane's gonna get hunted down. No! He lost track of him.
Yeah, and then Diablo as well.
Diablo does have the souls to come back up, so that wasn't overly bad, but they also didn't accomplish anything. If they were soaking the lanes, they could have gotten, they could have had the race to 16 handily won, but now this boss is going to take this fort, and they're going to make up a lot of experience from it, and if they get the next tribute, they're going to get a curse. What?
So
Whoa,
great.
that's
Sundering
Sundering.
split them, but there was no follow-up. I mean, they were split perfectly.
They
but
can't-
There was no follow-up.
So this is why that Sundering was so bad, is because Apocalypse wasn't ready. So those heroics and tandem work great together. So if you're just staggering the use of them, now they can't combo them for another 60 seconds. So their ability to take a fight is very low before Sundering comes back up, and another tribute is spawning. So you know that waste is a lot worse than it looks.
Yeah, it's still 40 seconds with only 5 seconds for the tribute, so they have a full 30 seconds.
This
before
cigar
they
needs to be more
fall.
careful. Oh
Yeah,
no!
Cigar's actually going to go down here. Oh, wow, beautiful Maw, two-man Maw right there. And you do see the Flameshark come out with the Phoenix for follow-up as Noise does start channeling. They are just going to body this real
hunted
quick,
down.
and Noise does get the tribute channel, so they are not going to be on curse point here. Team Laming is bad, just kind of backs off, and Flex is probably going to start going towards our boss.
Flex
Yeah,
is flexing on this Li Ming. Actually, she just like went right over and finished
Double
off the
stun,
Zagara.
double root from the boss. That's just wow. That's just awkward to see.
Yeah, luckily the Team Li Ming is bad wasn't there to kind of capitalize on
Capitalize.
it. If they were, that might have been very bad.
It would have been really bad. So looking at the overall picture of the game right now, we do see a structural lead for Team Fixer Noiseps. We also see an EXP lead as we pick up level 16 talents. Full Calamity build coming up from Li Ming with Diamond Skin at 16, Illusionist at 13, Tech Calamity at 7. The only talent missing is 1 for Aetherwalker, but that's not very good here. So we do a full Calamity build here as we do see the Rampage come out for 16 for Diablo. For Lightning has 2 charges for Thrall now on the Lightning as they just give up this free tribute because they had to get the
yeah.
boss, and Zagara is actually going to die here.
Oh,
Sundering
no.
gets blown there as well, but Garth Alger does go down way too far forward, not able to really do anything to get out of there. Doesn't have creep for vision. There's very little creep on the map.
Yeah, you know, you always gotta be, no matter where you are, you always gotta drop that creep tumor on the flank. Oh, what a nice triple stun into
That was a beautiful
Phoenix!
triple
Oh
stun.
my goodness, and Quaymane's just cleaning up. And of course, with his 13 talent on the prowl, Greymane is
He gains
gonna be
that
able to
movement
chain him
But
down
not
a little
anymore
bit.
because he lost out on his stacks.
Yeah, he lost on the inner rage or whatever it's called. So yeah, that was a nice comeback fight. All kind of started by that Kel'Thas triple gravity lapse. Very nicely done.
Yeah, that was just perfect. That was just very well executed. But again, they were backs to the wall at their own fort, so they have to do something.
But now they're ahead in XP, so you know, in that race to 20, they could get there first, and they might get this curse as Rhaegar and Thrall,
coming up,
are just
But
going there now.
they do have Li Ming, so they can flex.
Yeah.
They can. Oh, Greymane just barely out of the way for the disintegrate. He's not gonna get. They're not gonna stop it. They actually got the curse here with the pyroblast.
Nice
With
Maw on
the Phoenix
2.
And the Maw coming up. Then the Sundering goes out to stop everything, but Rhaegar's gonna go down after just coming back up with Mala.
Oh my
See Hope
god,
running for his life.
what a comeback here.
Yeah, this is also a curse point too, so they are losing a lot of soak by having those minions. Diablo does go down, not enough souls to come back, but they are just going to push this front keep wall here.
Yeah, and I like this decision. They should just go for the keep. Forget the fort. Just go for the keep. Greymane shouldn't be even attacking the fort. Oh no.
So yeah, as the
Oh wait,
FTE lead
yeah, okay.
comes back around towards for Team Li Ming. Team Li Ming is down. You're also going to see 10 seconds till Vala comes back up. Like This is just very detrimental.
Yeah, that was you know what, they got caught in a choke, and that's kind of the what you have to be careful about in this map when you take a fight or if you get to a tribute late. Why you see so many competitive teams just give up tributes if they're going to be late is because you have to walk through a choke while the enemy team just sets up all their AoE damage, sets up their maw, sets up, you know, Muradin piercing bolts and everything like that, and easy gravity laps. You have to walk through that choke and suffer all the AoE. So you really have to be careful how and where you take those fights. If they just sent Diablo ahead by himself, that might have worked fine, and everyone else on a flank, but they have to be more careful about that in the future. The game is not over, although they're trying to take a fight without Thrall, so that's kind of questionable.
And without level 20. Yeah, so they are going to lose volley here. They're actually not going to be able to contest this boss. Blue 1442 comes in, not going to... Oh, the Sundering for the disengage.
That was a good Sundering. Okay. Yeah, that was a good use of the Sundering. He should really...
Fire Stomp again. I'd like to see Fire Stomp again to dismount, as they do get the vision here of the Mercamps.
Yeah, there's no reason not to cast it, really. So, well, Thrall's going to get caught out here, getting a little greedy about the
body blocking.
Maybe
Diablo doing the best he can to just get him in there, but the one-man Maw comes out just to save Muradin. He is just going to get double stunned right there and just taken out and obliterated right away.
And with this boss, they should be able to get the keep with Diablo down as well. Diablo's down for the full timer, so there should be no problem. And with 2 keeps down, now it's looking really bad for Flexer No Subs.
Yeah. They had a really good lead in the beginning, and they were taking control of all of the curse points, but unfortunately
nice
they got caught in that. They got caught in that chokehold and just kind of threw it all away.
Yeah, so it looks like they're even going to end the game here. Oh, definitely now with Vala going down. And once again, you know, Vala didn't seem to do much this game to me. She didn't. Her ult didn't really hit anything. You know, I guess she put out some constant DPS and didn't die overly much. Although we'll have to look at the stat screen for that. And
she did go down 6 times.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so she got caught out quite a bit, but I mean, so did Zagara. So. But then now the difference is, yeah, the difference between Diablo and Muradin, who has an escape, and Diablo who doesn't, and is going to die every time. And actually, my scoreboard is bugged out as I only see Thrall's stats as being zeros across the board, so I can't bring you that. But
I see Thrall's stats as 0, but I see everything else too.
Yeah, kind of a weird bug going on here.
It's happened twice. Yeah, that's happened twice before.
So damage, we actually see Kael'thas leading on Team Li Ming is bad, which is good. It's better. It's more than I expected. Kind of expected Zagara to be up there, but she didn't seem to do much at all. Of course, she did die a lot of times, did die early, so that kind of dampens her hero damage. And on the other side, Li Ming died 0 times, had 7 kills, had 7 assists, and outputted the most damage in the game. So compliments to Flex on that Li Ming, but they didn't win, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Great job by both teams. Really big map, really good comeback for Team Li Ming. You know, didn't look too good in the beginning, but took 1 fight, and it really only takes one. Really only takes one to turn it around, and then get the EXP lead, and then get the structure lead, and then have the lanes pushed, and then it's just impossible for them to leave their base without being seen or without you knowing how to rotate on them. So, very good job.
Yeah, so it's a good thing that Li Ming is bad beat Li Ming. Now, in the next matchup, they're going to be facing Team Potato Plus, and we know Plus is a very good Li Ming player, so we'll have to see if they can back up their words. Or their team name, I guess. Not really their words. Their team name. See if they can beat another kind of famous, at least on our Discords, Li Ming. And I think he's top 15 in North America according to the HotS rankings on Li Ming, so we'll see what happens. So we're going to set up the next game. Just waiting for admin to do that and give us the draft links. And while we do that, what do you think? Who do you think was the MVP of that game?
Oh, I don't know. Gosh. Oh goodness.
Putting you on the spot here, but too
I
bad.
know. I mean, there were a couple of clutch plays. Like there were some really good plays from Li Ming. Obviously, she didn't die, and she really carried her team. But that triple stun from Kalehouse into the double kill with the Grey Moon chase, like that was just absolutely wonderful. Muradin did a really good job with body blocking. Zagara landed like 2 or 3 really clutch Maws. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know if
those
I can
mods.
pick
I
an
mean,
MVP.
outside of those mods, Sagara played. I feel pretty poorly, but like her map awareness wasn't there. Her creep spread wasn't quite up to par.
Yeah, there was
But
at one point when she went down on the top lane, she didn't have any creep behind her, and there were only 3 other creep teamers on the map. 2 of them were ahead of her, and one of them was at the bottom of the map where the last tribute was. So there was only 3 creep teamers at one point on the map before she died. So that was a main reason she did not have vision of that rotation, because they were coming to check boss, but then their minions give them vision, so they saw that Zagar was in lane, so they split on either side of the boss, and boom, there goes Zagara. So had she had a creep tumor in the bush next to the boss, she would have been able to not only see the rotation, but see the fact that she was pretty much screwed. So she would have just kept attacking instead of trying to run.
So, but I was gonna point out that she really made up for it with those maws. There were a couple. I mean, there was only a one-man maw at the end, near the end, to kill Diablo. But other than that, her maws were on point. She was always catching 2 or 3 coming through those chokes, and that is a tip for Zagara players out there who might be playing this map, is you just wait. You wait for people to walk through those chokes. If they're on top of you, then you kite them back so that they have to go through those chokes, and then you land your huge maw. So very well done there. And Apocalypse didn't seem to get as much value as I thought it would in this game, unfortunately, for Team Flex Your Noise Ups. But I think Diablo only died 6 times. That's less than I expected for a Diablo.
I only saw enough souls for one revive. I'm not sure if there was more than one.
Yeah, did he take the talent that lets him revive with fewer souls? Yeah, he did. So I'm not sure. I'm sure he must have more than one time, but I didn't see it. So we're gonna go into our next draft here, guys, between Team Li Ming is bad and Team Potato Plus.
Oh, we're looking at Cursed Hollow and BOE for the last 2 picks. Please, not Cursed Hollow again.
Well, maybe, we get to see that matchup again.
No.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to see Li Ming is bad versus Li Ming on Cursed Hollow again with different players. Let's see how this turns out.
No, different maps. The maps shouldn't be allowed. Like
we should have
in our tournament. We should have like single elim map bans.
What is that tournament? That tournament with is it Caldor that runs it, where you can't pick the same heroes?
They're banned for the whole tournament.
Yeah,
like that's super fun.
You can do that for maybe maps played.
Maps, yeah, but the problem was that a bunch of the players were just trolling, and they picked our banned supports. So there was the first game had 2 supports, and then they banned 2 supports. So there was only 4 supports left, and then the next team.
Well, I wouldn't call that trolling. That sounds more like a strategy. If your team is better without supports, your players can do it better without supports, then you do that.
I don't know.
Anyway, we're into the bans. We're into the bans, and Zagara, no surprise. Li Ming, the respect ban. I mean, if she's so bad, why do you have to ban her?
Yeah, that's definitely a respect ban.
That is not putting the money where your mouth is. Yeah, I'm sure that's the saying.
Again, Kilhoff first pick. I mean, maybe they're putting a little bit too much faith in him, but Kilhoff's first pick was 2 rounds in a row. Like, I just don't see Kilhoff as that big of a threat anymore.
I mean, I think this is a player issue. I think probably the person who played it last game, I don't remember his name. I apologize. But he probably is really good with Kael'thas and not as good with other heroes. So they're like, and possibly he's like their bronze player or whatever. So he doesn't have a wide hero pool. So you got to pick him first, unless if in case the other captain had some intelligence and scout out that he has 8,000 games on Kael'thas and only 20 games on other heroes. So we see
Falstad for the first pick too. Yeah, Falstad for the first pick with Kerrigan ETC, and then moving into the mid bands. So lots of control and stuns. ETC Kerrigan, great on stuns. ETC does have some slows that he can talent into. Falstad has some base kit slows. So they are looking to just really control an area for a fight and be able to just blow people up. So if I were them, we see the Uther ban, which is a great ban, but I also they ended up banning Bright Ring. Did they lock that in yet? I don't think that's locked in.
No, not yet. And ETC is amazing on this map. Once again, with the chokes, he can get very easy multiple man mosh pits, and same with Kerrigan combo. Kerrigan combo can actually get more than one person very easily on this map, as long as she waits and then jumps when they're in the choke. So we'll see what happens there. They do, on the other side, they do have Thrall for the disengage. Sundering is one of the best disengagement tools, and why they banned Uther is so that they can guarantee that Kerrigan's not invulnerable and they can use Sundering for that disengage,
as well as the divine
or the counter engage, I should say. Yeah, as well, of course, works well with ETC, making sure that the mosh can't be interrupted. Now, almost any cleanser will do that as well. Obviously, not as long. So. And
have the
good
Tyrael for it still, yeah.
So good Tyrael pickup, kind of a denial pick once again in those chokes on this map. You just can't kill anyone in the Sanctification, which is likely to be the whole team. And then, of course, he can use Sanctification to save people from Mosh or save people from the Kerrigan combo. And another good saving hero in Oriel. We saw the power of the Aegis last game when Thrall kind of was chasing the Aegis target and then got exploded on. And anybody, especially Kael'thas, who is being jumped on by Kerrigan, etc., they can be Aegis and then saved. Now, what Team Potato Plus can do, of course, is in response to the Aegis, they can gust everyone else away and then just kind of try to blow up the Aegis target when he comes back up. So gotta watch that play as well. And then we've got Lily picked up for Team Potato Plus. Don't really see a reason for the Lily pick here. Do you?
Well, they do have Thrall. He's melee. Tyrael's melee. I don't see the benefit of having Jugs. Of having the blinds, but Jugs works really well here. They have minimal stuns. They have just the Kael'thas, which can be not only intercepted, but he has to have a direct line to you unless it's empowered. And then you also have the option for Water Dragon for the teams that dive in, but then you're facing Sanctification, so you wouldn't want that. So I think Jugs, great healing here, but again, it could come down to an ease of access. I do know that both Kael'thas and Lily are free this week, so it could be a great possibility for them as to why they're being played. But
yeah,
Abathur, interesting.
Yeah, well, this is one of
the last pick.
This is one of Abathur's best maps for sure. He can get the soak on multiple lanes while the tribute fights are happening, and the tribute fights can get quite long, so he can get great value pushing a lane, so body soaking a lane, soaking 2 lanes. So, and having multiple Kerrigans is never bad.
Yeah, right.
If one Kerrigan is good, 2 is just twice as good, right? That's how it works.
Multiple Falstads, because you do get the mount ability when you clone Falstad. You are able to fly anywhere on the map. So if somebody's trying to get away, and you want to have your Falstad there, still poking and chasing them, you have your real Falstad fly behind them, gust them in, and so now your clone Falstad's attacking, and then your other Falstad comes in, the real one starts attacking. So you have the ability, and then the other one can fly to another area of the map and poke at something else. Like, you can actually use the fly on Falstad, so it's really fun.
Yeah, that's a great point. Falstad is not usually the first person you think about cloning, but it does definitely have its uses. And we see an Arthas coming out last for Team Li Ming is bad, and he is once again pretty great on this map again because of the chokes. You get your maximum value out of your aura, you can land your Howling Blast way easier, and of course he has great sustain, so if these tribute fights get long, then he can kind of outlast the other team. But they don't really want the fights to be long because Abathur's on the other side. So what do you think about that pickup?
Well, the Arthas pick is going to be good for the engage, because they're going to have the Kerrigan diving in, they're going to have ETC diving in, so it's going to be great for the engage. Not only that, he has an AoE, so he doesn't really have to get in there and poke. He just kind of has to get near enough. But again, they do need some wave clear, and Arthas, although it is a small damage over time, it still does provide that damage over time, so he is able to do that. Lastly, a really good point here is the Summon Syndragosa. Summon Syndragosa can completely disable a fort and essentially act as its own curse. So if they decide that they're going to chase kills and they need to dive a fort, they can Summon Syndragosa, kill the fort off, or freeze and stop the fort as they continue to chase. Because if you look at Kerrigan, she has a relatively small health pool when it comes to assassins. She does have the assimilation shields. She has ways to get her shields back up and restore her life by last hitting people and last hitting minions. But when you look at Falstad, squishy assassin, when you look at Lili, squishy support, like all these things, like they're going to be able to chase. They have Arthas, they have Tyrael, they have Thrall, huge health pools, sustain. Oriel, again, sustain, maybe not as much damage, and then Kael'thas rounding it all out. So I don't know how this is going to go. It can go either way here. There's so much potential on both sides. I just think it's going to be really, really hard for Team Potato Plus to kill Team Li Ming is bad. It's just going to be so hard. Well, especially later on in the game.
Well, let's introduce the teams first. So on Team Potato Plus, we have J-Rad on Kerrigan, Isacard on Lily, G on Falstad, Passionless on Abathur, and P Before You Leave on ETC.
And over on the red side, on Team Li Ming is bad, Blue 1442 back on Oriole, Garth Algar trying out Thrall this time, Super Chub on Arthas, Krezel taking over Kael'thas, and Zengo on Tyrael. Standard level 1 picks coming out here, nothing too crazy. Survival instincts from Abathur. You are going to see the hammer build come up from Falstad like a stone on ETC, Conjurer's Pursuit for Lily. Interesting on the Conjurer's Pursuit here. That means Lily's most likely going to be trying to do a rotation, which is going to be a little hard to do when you only have Abathur sitting in a lane and not actually body soaking. So we'll see how this plays out. But People Before You Leave does get rooted here. Lots of damage goes on him. Great gravity lapse. Not going to be able to save him. He just kind of stood there for way too long. There was no reason.
It was 5 on 3. Yeah, it was 5 on 3. Why was he even taking damage?
No reason.
Like, why was he even in range to take damage? There's no reason to do that. And looks like Tyrael's rotating top, so that should be fine for the soak there. He didn't lose too many creeps. And of course, this is something I like to point out, but when you're in a solo lane against Zero, unless you are a crazy pusher like Zagara, some engagement in the middle lane, everything should be fine. Unless you're a crazy pusher like Zagara, you should really not be hitting the creeps at all. You should just let the lane push into you so that you're safer and you're denying more creeps faster from the other side. So anyway, so we see ETC helping out Abathur. Of course, Abathur's not that great early and can't hold a lane on his own early game, so he's got to have some help, and ETC's there to do that. Middle matchup, we see Oriole and Kael'thas against Kerrigan. Kerrigan won't be able to do anything here, so she just has to play safe. And then we've got Falstad up top. Now,
I do
Falstad
like the
should
fact- yeah.
win this lane, I think. Tyrael can't come close. He can just try kind of smite and shield his creep wave. He actually only shielded one creep there, so not really worth the mana, but we'll keep an eye out on that. But I think Falstad should have the advantage there.
Absolutely. I do like the fact that Abathur decided to rotate into another lane, but what I don't like is that he chose a lane that already has 2 people in it, so he's just basically doing the same thing that he was doing in the bottom lane. It's just really difficult for him to soak. So again, he's probably going to be making a rotation to the top lane here, so Falstad can be relieved and he can fly down. So he's not missing, they're not missing soak in the top lane. So that needs to happen rather soon because that top wave is now just getting to the middle. As you do see him finally getting up there. He did show a map, so they do know he's there. ETC, again, just taking so much damage, being so far forward all the time, just not really using his abilities to zone, just kind of using his body. Being able to get in there and cast an ability and then get out with Power Slide is really, really beneficial for the team. But when you use the Power Slide to engage, you're just dragging your team with you. It's really hard.
Yeah, and it did end up like they had to spread the Kael'thas fire because of that, and that's okay though. They made a very conscious effort to give up that first tribute. Actually, Kerrigan never left mid, and of course Abathur was soaking top. So you can see that they have half a level lead right now because of that, and that I think that's very good decision making when you're.
Yeah.
When you're the Abathur lineup, your team is not strong early, so why even bother fighting that?
Yeah. Also, there was a lot of damage that went down from that mini wave onto both Krizzle and Zingo, forcing them both to tap, so they will not have their taps here for this altar phase.
Yeah, it was very well done by the Abathur there, just getting so much damage in on them. And now, I'm not sure that Team Li Ming is bad should be taking this fight. Thrall gets caught. No, Oriel's going to go down.
She is going to go down. Thrall taking a lot of damage as well. That hat on Kerrigan is doing a lot of work too. Super Chub coming in here from the bottom, trying to do the best that he can. Garth Alger just barely missing that mine on his way out.
Are they
He does
still
step
here?
into it. Yep. So they're all still here. As Issachar tries to channel, but stood in that flame strike.
Oh
the whole time.
no, Lily!
He is gonna get taken out right away with that Frostwolf Resilience, I think it was.
Yep, Frostwolf Resilience. Arthas saves himself with a nice howling.
Nice root on G. Yeah, that was great. As Tyrael does come in here, he gets a nice little
What a
swipey
play.
swipe onto Falstad, and you have Garth Alger and Ariel back here at full health. Teams are not going to be able to get back here in time. They do have to give this up and soak again. Their only hope here is that this next tribute doesn't come in the next minute or two, which it will, and that they get to 10 first.
Yeah, it'll come in a few seconds.
Yeah, the best thing that's going for them now is that this will be around a 6 or 7 minute curse, so it's going to be relatively early in the game, so it's not going to be completely detrimental. But again, you really don't want to give it up if you don't have to. But if they have to, it's not going to be a problem. Lots of damage going down on a Kael'thas in the middle. He did get caught out here. That was great use of the ETC power slide and Kerrigan combo, just being able to lock him down. He was steps away from his fort. He should have been able to just walk back. And Abathur actually being caught out too down in the bush. Unfortunately, he was probably hiding somebody who wasn't able to pay attention to that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it was looking bad for Li Ming is bad because they were giving up quite the level advantage or experience advantage at that point, but then they got the pick on Abathur and now everything's okay again because if you fall too far behind an Abathur team, you're gonna have a bad time. So. But now they caught back up. Kerrigan is on the flank, but kind of isolated. She's got to be careful. Oh, she jumps right in on Arthas.
She jumps right over, too, which was great. She kind of missed the whole bush by doing that. Lots of damage going down onto Team Theato. Plus, though, Falstad having a barrel roll out of there.
Nice
escape. All the
escape.
damage. Great escape.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. Seems like they're probably gonna have to give him a curse. They're delaying as much as they can so that they can give Abathur time to work.
Yep.
And no,
she's gonna go down here. Yeah. Unfortunately, that was a little bit too greedy. So they, even though they are cursed right now, it's not a terrible thing. But look at Abathur just slapping the towers on the top. That's great.
The Slapathur is the best. I love Slapathur, so that's a great Great Abathur
I
player.
mean, they are showing 4 bottom, and Zengo's about to show in mid, so he can go right back to doing what he was doing.
Yeah, I think he was hatting someone at that point, but yeah, he should be. Come on, man up, Abathur, slug up, whatever it is.
Slug up. Tyrael is showing in mid lane now, so you do have all 5 players on the map, and Abathur's still sitting behind the fort. And
oh, Tyrael went down. Wow.
Tyrael did not take. Oh, he did take even in death, but he didn't use it.
Yeah, maybe he just forgot he had it. Sometimes I forget I take it. You mean your trait doesn't happen very often, or it shouldn't.
Most of the time, you're not supposed to use things when you die.
So yeah,
I'd really like to see ETC or Kerrigan get in there and tank this. Just tank it. Just tank the take the Phoenix.
So entering this phase, Team Potato actually had like a half level of XP advantage still, but now it's all even up.
Even, but they're still down the fort too.
Nice, Aegis dodges the sun. Gust comes out. Wow, great Gust. And oh, it looks like they are gonna get. Oh, that looks like they. Oh, that was just the Abathur clone. Yeah, so
that was a clone. Yeah.
That was a great Gusto to secure the kill onto Thrall. And all the meantime, Abathur's still doing Abathur things up top, but they're pushing quite heavily into the keep. It looks like Arthas took Syndragosa. What do you think about that on this map?
I mean, that was like, even though Army of the Dead is a great sustain tool, you have Ariel, like you have Tyrael, you have the ability to get the shields, to get the heals. I don't think that you need to focus on more self-sustain for yourself. Not to mention, you also have an ability that's self-sustained too. So I do like the Summon Syndragosa play here. Because you're able to dive the fort.
I really gotta commend Chubb on his Howling Blast though. He kind of just never panics and just hits them on 2 people even when he's gone in on rather. And you know, I play Arthas a little bit. I'm not the best with him, but when I'm in a panicky state, that's when I miss the most Howling Blast for me. I'm like running for my life. I'll turn around and throw a Howling Blast and it'll completely miss. So gonna commend him for that. Abathur's being pushed back by Thrall up top, and this is not really a matchup that Abathur can win, of course. So that's happening, but Falstad's getting a free lane bottom, so they're looking to regain their XP advantage. It looks like they are going to get 13 first.
At least try and stop them from taking that well mid. That was just 3 minions that just sat there and killed that. They could have easily killed those minions, but now they don't have a fountain mid. They also don't have a fountain bottom. They have their fountain on top, but unfortunately their wall is pretty dead up there. So luckily for them, it is in the top lane we're looking at for the next curse here. We see Super Chubb kind of poking out that, face checking that. It's not a problem for Arthas to do that, or for ETC, but anybody else that did that would be a problem.
Yeah, even though the Mind build was nerfed previously, it looks like that's what the Abathur is going now. And they have a zoning Phoenix before anyone was channeled. Gust into it!
Like,
into the mosh pit! Oh, it was instantly cancelled.
That was instantly cancelled. Yeah, unfortunately, they had a Sanctification and a Sundering go down there. As you see the down as well, trying to do his best they can to slow him down. Falstad clone does go down as well. J-Rod taking a lot of damage, just get rooted.
That boomerang.
Power slide in there. Boomerang in there doing a lot of damage too. Does actually take out Kael'thas. Kerrigan goes down in the process with ETC as well. That was a lot of damage that got put down on both teams right there, but that Sanctification that came down right at the last second, and then once Sanctify was down, we also had Sundering come down to interrupt the mosh, and then once that was down, you had everybody that was just able to collapse onto Kerrigan because she was so far forward, but we had the root go down on her really quick too. She got rooted and tried to get away. We saw Jugs come out. There was just so much that happened there.
And you know, I question the cloning of the Falstad instead of Kerrigan, because if you get the double stun from Kerrigan, it's much better than just having the kind of raw DPS of Falstad.
Yeah, Falstad only slows too, so as you do see another one come in here, he is going to try and set up for this.
Uh-oh, this is bad. They should disengage. No, team leaving is bad. Oh, Tyrael trait's going to get a lot of work done.
They stole... Oh no, Ariel, with that whip out. ETC going in. He gussed them into the boss.
Oh no! I mean, I think they were gonna get it anyway, but
no, like Oreo barely got in there and whipped off ETC,
ATC was in there, but if Falstad was behind them and just whipped everybody and gusted everybody, but he gusted everybody into ETC and Kerrigan.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
no.
the health bars on the blue team were quite low, so
Everybody was low, yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
think.
they had the chance to steal the boss, but now they're going to give up boss and a
Oh,
previous
Abathur's
point.
trying to get it. No, he can't get it. He's got to run.
Oh, he barely got out of there.
Oh,
I don't know
he
why
dropped
he
that mine
picked
just out
that.
of range, though, and the Locust isn't going to go that way, so it looks like another tribute. Has Team Potato even gotten one tribute yet? I don't think they have. Yeah.
I don't think they've got the tribute, yeah.
Wow,
They're doing
and
what
this
they
boss
can to
is
take
getting
care
a
of the
bit of
boss, yeah.
damage. Shouldn't get much more than what it's already gotten, but
Just the gate is going to go down, it looks like. Oh, not even the gate.
no, the gate's gonna be fine. It's still very early. It's 12 minutes, so the boss isn't that strong. Now, what's interesting though is even though the fights have kind of and you know results have sort of been going in favor of Team Li Ming is bad, there's still a experience advantage for Team Potato. So the game is definitely not out of reach, definitely not over, and it's hard to say. I mean, structure-wise, of course, Team Li Ming is bad is ahead. They are 2 forts up, a little bit of damage on the fort up as well in mid, and you know they're about to get another curse. But other than that, it's hard to say that they're even ahead. Like one big team fight could easily snowball this for Team Potato.
Yeah. You do see Falstad down here trying to take care of this Merc camp, but there's a 3-man rotation come down on here. He needs to get out of here. He is actually going, wow, just barely getting out of there with that updraft at level 4, increasing the range on his barrel roll. It really saved him. Kressel doing a really good job at zoning him out, though. It just comes down into the team fight with Sanctification being stacked on top of it. Syndragosa comes down with the Phoenix. All ultimates being used except for Sundering, but that actually does get Mosh to be pulled out as well. Gus comes in, trying to gust them out. Jugs is up, saving only Lily at this point, as you do see ETC also got cloned here. So ETC went down right after he gusted. That was all the ultimates stacked right on top of each other, one after another. You had the Aegis go down, then Sanctify right after, then Syndragosa with the Phoenix coming out right after that. So in tandem, one after another, 4 ultimates right away, just really putting in work, as you saw all the ultimates being blown on the side of Team Potato Plus. But to no avail because they actually lost 2 members there.
Oh, and Kerrigan gets caught out.
Unfortunately, yeah, there's a curse on you. You know, you don't have the fort to retreat behind. This is another reason why this map is so popular and so different, is because characters like Illidan thrive here. You know, under a curse, like he has free range to roam the entire map. Tracer has free range to roam the entire map. Like it's just absolutely obnoxious. But they do go ahead and take the keep. There's not much that Team Potato Post can even do with a man down and an Abathur. They're basically 3 bodies right now.
Yeah, now Abathur is keeping the top lane pushed out by himself, so that's great. And this is so different from the first game, I feel, about the team coordination of Li Ming is bad. We saw them kind of, you know, not have such a great early game last game and everything like that, but the team fights they are taking, perfectly staggering their abilities. The Sanctification on top, just as Aegis was expiring so that they can't finish off the Aegis target coming out, was amazing, and their coordination seems to have picked up a lot. Garth Algar, who was playing the Sagara last game, has died a lot less, it feels like to me. So and let's see here, he's died.
Yeah, he's only died once.
He's only died once this game, so he's really stepped up his play as well. So, and you know, they were the ones who banned Tyrael in the first game, and if they're playing like this, they should try to get him every game.
Yep, as you do see a nice engage come down here. We do not have Mosh does go up, but it does get interrupted as well.
Nice
Sanctify comes down for the
Sanct.
Gust, but the Gust unfortunately gets obliterated by the Sanctification. You do see Tyrael go down as well. Even in Death coming out, you're also going to see Thrall come out. Even in Death's going to get a lot of damage on Iskard. Super Chubb taking a lot of damage from J-Red as well. Howling Blast does go down to Lily, does get rooted. Super Chubb taking a lot of damage. J-Red barely getting it in there, does get the kill. Abathur Hat comes out, takes out Arthas as well, as he gets a chase on Blue 1442. Abathur and Kerrigan actually going to take them out here. Kerrigan just needs a Ravage to finish her off. And she's going to Ravage onto the minion, but not kill it, unfortunately. So Blue 1442 is going to survive that team fight. So great turnaround there.
Yeah, now you see the power of a Kerrigan, and I kind of question the pick on this map because even though she can get a lot of members in her combo, she doesn't really have any minions to jump to a lot of the times during the fight, so she can't get full value out of her kit. But we see the power there where she can snowball a fight. Like once there were few enough members left alive on the other team, they just couldn't kill her at all. She just kept gaining those simulation shields.
Yeah, as Falstad does what he can in the top lane to escort that minion wave into the top lane, draining all the ammo out of that fort. That fort will go down to this minion wave now, so they will finally take their first structure 17 and a half minutes into the game. But don't get it wrong, they did hit level 21st. They have one keep, and that's it, but they are a full level ahead of their opponents who had just before this all of their structures. That just shows you the EXP soak that Abathur is getting here. If you do take a look at this right now, we are seeing almost double anybody else, even the highest member on the opposite team. Abathur has done twice as much. So it's like Abathur is playing 2. So that aggressive gust in here, as you do see the Kerrigan combo go down onto Arthas, Ariel. She does actually get the Aegis onto herself. Summons into Ghost with the Sanctification comes down. Ariel just barely getting out of there. As you do see J-Rad doing the best that he can. Kerrigan combo comes down, takes out Ariel. Z goes down. Unfortunately, that Jugs was just a little bit too delayed. As you do see the Holy Ground come down. Sundering comes down as well for the zoning. J-Rad just gaining those assimilation shields like crazy onto Thrall. Thrall's going to go down. Tyrael taking a lot of damage. Ravage onto Zengo. Zengo goes down. Even in death, not going to do anything here except stop the channel as Arthas just runs for his life. But Team Potato Plus has to watch their core. They do have catapult minions that are approaching.
So now we see the kind of the power of a late game Abathur lineup. We see because he took Evolutionary Link at level 20, so now Kerrigan just seems unkillable. She's living through every fight, and once it snowballs her way a little bit in the fight, she's kind of like Illidan. She just becomes unkillable. It seems like Team Li Ming is bad, needs to back off of these team fights a little earlier once they realize they're losing them. So but let's take a look at some of the other level 20 talents as Team Potato is stealing the boss. We see that Kerrigan took both of the Storm, Epic Mount, Death Metal by P Before You Leave, perhaps realizing that his mosh pits are getting interrupted so he can still get value out of mosh pit with Death Metal. And Arthas is actually holding his level 20. Nope, there's Anti-Magic Shell, and we see Nexus Blades for Thrall. I think I prefer Bolt there, but Shield of Hope is very standard, Flamethrower for Kel'Thas to keep him safer, and Holy Arena. Holy Arena for Tyrael.
Yeah.
That's kind of strange. They don't have that many auto attackers, I guess. Or is it just...
No, it's just damage.
It's just damage?
It's not
okay,
auto
never mind, sorry.
damage. It's all damage, so it's ability and...
Yeah, I guess they have been grouping up in the Sanct quite well, so that could pay off for them. Especially if they go for a core rush, which it looks like it's starting to look like they might have to resort to. Maybe next Tribute comes up, they should just go core, 5-man, and see what happens. Because they're not winning any of the fights now, so...
So the boss took out the gate on the top, just a little bit of ammo gone from the towers, so that's not going to be a problem. This boss will probably just barely get this fort, if it even gets that. It is a 20-minute boss, so let's see the chunks that come out of it. Yeah, it'll get this fort. Nope, actually it won't. It will not get this fort, so they're not going to even secure another fort with this second boss. They did not choose to push with it, which was a little awkward of a choice, but they did have quite a bit of time. As you do see the Gust come down here, Kerrigan combo goes down on Kel'Thas goes down, invulnerable on the Sanctification with ETC that's in the middle there taking the blind. He's just trying to get himself into a position where when he dies he's going to be able to mosh. So the mosh actually not going to go down. He does go down onto a 4-man mosh. That's going to be all 4 players. Zengo taking a lot of damage as well. He's going to get the Kerrigan combo. He is going to turn around even in death. He's going to try and follow Pete before you leave. And Ariel is going to be the last one surviving, taking a lot of damage from that hammering there. But not going to get that kill again on Blue 1442. Actually going to save it as Abathur gets the first curse for their team. As you see the minion waves pushed really, really far towards their home base, but their core is taking direct damage. They're down to 66%, 59% on the core. They need to do something about this. They're getting in there for the slaps as they take half life on their core. Really desperate moves here as they do try and get the top keep. As Falstad takes a lot of damage to Blue 1442. And wow, Kerrigan jumped in there and got whipped back right away. So they are going to get this keep. Kel'Thas just now coming up. 10 more seconds till at least 2 more members are up. They do get a full keep off this curse. So they do have a win condition now at the next wave. They are able to actually end the game after the next wave. So
They need to really seriously think about this Holy Arena core rush, because I don't see them winning any fights anymore. They just keep blowing up Kel'Thas right away. They're not able to save him despite Aegis or Sanctification because of some beautiful gusts coming out of Xi. And they need some sneaky backdoor Sanctification Holy Arena burst down the core play. I fully think that should be their plan. And it looks like they are sneaking up around bottom perhaps for that.
yeah, so they know they're top. They know they're showing top. So you see them kind of rotating around here. Just trying to peek out, see what's going on.
Yeah, this is totally their plan. If they can pick Abathur here, that would be not bad, and then go core. I think Kael'thas is actually not in the bush.
No, Kel'Thas is not in the bush.
I don't know. I think I can see the eye over him, so maybe he is. Maybe Abathur saw him. Why did he just walk backwards?
No, he was.
Yeah, he was. Okay.
So they just showed over at the fort. So they are actually coming down here.
Holy Arena, where is it?
In here.
Oh no!
They waited for Falstad and the gust. So now the Holy Arena comes down, and now they're just gonna chunk down the core really quick.
But they lost so many seconds there. They could have had all those seconds to do it and wasted the gust.
As they are just gonna wipe the whole team right here. Super Chubb goes down, but it's not gonna matter because Zengo on the opposite side in that Holy Arena taking down the core.
Wow, what a call there. Like I was saying, I totally think it was the right call. They lost 4 team fights in a row, perhaps. So it just wasn't going to happen.
They only barely won that too. They barely won that. If one more member went down, they would have chased the 5th member off. They had Siege Giants pushing the top lane with no keep. They absolutely could have made it there. It would have been really difficult because of the amount of time to travel, but they totally could have done that. That was a really good call, though. Really good plays.
Yeah, I still would have liked to see the Sanctification right as Falstad was flying in, because you know he's going to gust, and you buy all those seconds for your team. But it still worked out in the end. They got the core down, and like I said, they really cleaned up their play from the first match, I feel, and looked much more impressive that game. Now we see that on the score screen, the XP contribution of Abathur was quite insane. It was higher than the next 2 combined on the other team, or the top 2 combined from the other team. And so he did a lot of work, a lot of siege damage. Falstad also did a lot of siege damage. Wow.
Yeah, Falstad did a lot of work with the rotations, really abusing his flies. He did take Epic Mount at 22, so you can make those final rotations to try and make sure that the lanes weren't pushed as far as they were before the curse, because Catapult minions do a lot of work, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough in the end.
Look at that Kerrigan damage. Oh my goodness, that's like Li Ming auto AA levels of damage, perhaps, and Falstad actually keeping up, which is amazing. Because when I play Falstad, I do not get this type of damage usually.
Yeah, it's hard. You're so squishy.
Yeah, you're so squishy, and you try to join fights as late as you can, right? But he was just flying right in there and getting these beautiful gusts off, usually isolating Kael'thas, so that they could just kill him first, which contributed to all their team fight wins pretty much after the mid game. And despite that, they just couldn't pull it out. They were too far behind on structural damage, so gotta commend Team Li Ming as bad. I still want to see them not ban Li Ming because, their claim is that she's bad, but hopefully maybe we'll see that in the next round. So, but coming up, we've got the losers bracket finals between Team Potato and who was the first team we casted?
Flexor Noiseps.
Flexor Noiseps, right. Right, the returning champions, Flexor Noiseps. So we'll see who comes out on top here. I've already got a draft link. Thank you, Freak Plus, whatever you want to call them, for setting that up so quickly. So looks like nobody's in yet though, so we can keep talking about the score screen and the previous game. So who would you say was the MVP of the last game?
Oh, stop asking me these questions. There's a voting thing for it.
We need to vote for it. Gosh, I don't even know.
Well, you're a commentator. You have to have opinions on things. Come on.
I do. I have opinions on things, but I don't want to hurt people's feelings.
No, hurt them. You have to want to hurt them. You're a commentator. Hurt them.
I do like the sanctification and Aegis plays that came up from Oreo Interior. Those were really clutch. That worked really well in tandem too. Falstad really did a lot of work. I mean, I would have to give MVP to Kerrigan because of her ability to constantly turn those team fights, especially late game. She really put herself out there to do that, and she really went in for it all the way. Although, gosh, those sanctifications were really good.
Yeah, those Sanks I can think of at least 3 times where Sankt completely saved the fight. Eventually, it just wasn't enough, but for the mid game to get them into that dominant structural state, the Sanks really kind of were the only reason they won the fight almost. Of course, there were some beautiful Howling Blasts from Arthas as well. Really, he seemed to catch more than one person almost every time, which is commendable. It's not a big AoE, so. So yeah, lots of people played well, and I gotta commend Garth Algar on Thrall. Really cleaned up his play from the Zagara of the game before. I feel perhaps just more his type of hero, maybe not as experienced on Zagara. So, or maybe just his team was calling out, be careful, back now or whatever, noticing that he needed some of that map awareness help from the first game. So. Great job all around. Look forward to seeing them in the finals, but right now we've got the map bans between Team Potato and Team Flex Your Noiseps 2. And we're down to maybe Brax's holdout. Seems like I lost my co-caster. Alright, he's back.
Sorry, no, I went in to try and see why they weren't banning Braxis. Like, Braxis has to be banned, so they're just gonna play on Sky Temple. But the link that I got, I have the ban link. Like, I'm not an observer. Like I actually see the bans. Like,
okay, well,
I don't know.
Just try not to mess anything up.
No, I'm not clicking anything, but it's a different screen. Like, I can ban people if I want. Like,
okay, well, don't do that.
I'm just gonna click Murky and ban Murky.
Yeah, well, don't do that. We've got Dragonshire. Now this is a map where rotations are very key, and so as a result you see Zagara and Falstad being banned. Zagara of course is not a rotation hero, but she'll force you to rotate more heavily than you might want to into her lane. So and of course she provides the vision to keep safe, so no reason to let that through. And then Falstad, we just saw what he can do on Cursed Hollow. He can do the same on Dragonshire, and it might even be more effective. So no reason to let that through either. So we see Team Potato does get to play Li Ming. Pretty sure Freak will be picking that up. And followed by Brightwing for the global, which is great. Now they have a mobility advantage because the only other hero that can kind of match that would be Dahaka. So then you've got ETC, so stage dive possibilities perhaps. This is one of the only maps where I would say taking stage dive is okay. So, and on the other team, they've already got 2 kind of heavy mosh counters in Sundering and Sanctification. So we saw great Sanctification last game, canceling a mosh completely, and then will we see stage dive here? That is the question. Now, recently on this map specifically, to counter the global mobility of heroes like Brightwing, I've really liked taking Zeratul, who has a pseudo-global presence, because if you move around sneakily, the enemy team doesn't know where you are, so they can't really commit to anything, and they've got to play careful anyway, so you're kind of like everywhere at once. You still have that presence, and if anyone leaves, is left solo in a lane, you can set up a kill on them. So you have that kind of unconventional lane dominance if you pick up a Zeratul here. So let's see if any of the teams can play that and make it useful. Now the second round of bans have come up, and we have Sonya and Rhaegar ban. Sonya, what do you think about the Sonya ban?
She does great PVE. You know, the mercamps, they do provide some distractions while you're trying to take the objective points. She's great PVE. Um, I mean, even with something like Leap, as much as I don't like it as much as Wrath of the Berserker, but something like Leap, they could be worried about somebody jumping into their backline and because they picked Lily, and stunning out Lily because she may want to take jugs, or just jumping into the backline and really causing havoc and having to force them to turn around because they do have two frontline. Force the frontline to turn around to respond to Sonya, and then allow Team Potato Plus to engage at that point because their backs are turned. So, I mean, I understand the Sonya ban. I think there are heroes that do what Sonya does a lot better, as far as the stuns are concerned. But you know, it's a good ban.
And here is a hero that kind of does half of what Sonya does, which is the mercenary taking in Illidan. And they actually picked Illidan into Lily. What?
Yeah. I mean, it's a huge risk, first off, because of the fact you're going to get blinded, and that's Illidan's life support. That's his blood, is being able to auto attack. And they're hovering Zeratul.
I like it. I mean, I already expressed my love for that pick on this map, so.
And Illidan being able to just dive and stick onto somebody, he's going to have a lot of trouble here if Zeratul comes up too, because so if you get on the Tyrael, he's just going to Eldritch Smite away. Or he's going to shield up, or he's going to smite and slow you and speed himself up, and it's just going to cause more problems for you because it's going to be less time for you to chase him before he gets behind safety. Thrall can root you, Lily blinds you, Muradin stuns you, Zeratul also can probably obliterate you if you don't have evasion, but he can Void Prison you and have the rest of the team just gather around you, wait for evasion to go down, and just beat you. So Illidan will have a really hard time here. But again, if this is something that is being played by Z or G, which I think it is G playing this,
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to have too much of an issue because he's very well versed on Illidan. So we'll see how it plays out. Normally, I wouldn't pick an Illidan into this, but absolutely a possibility when G's playing.
Well, you know, my build on Lily against Illidan kind of smushes him, so it'll be interesting it'll be interesting to see how he plays that now. Of course, he does have Metamorph to try and so once he gets blinded, he can Metamorph to clear that, and then, or at least reduce the duration on that, and then continue on. But if Lily also takes Water Dragon, then Illidan's gonna have a lot of problems. So we'll see what happens. The problem against this lineup for an Illidan is that he's liable to get bursted. If Muradin stuns him, Zeratul comes in with his stuff, and then Thrall can do his Wind Fury and just blow him up. So, and Brightwing isn't really the best protection for an Illidan. Brightwing is going to be forced to take Blink Heal to try to keep up with him, and ETC will have a lot of work trying to peel for him to try and keep him alive. And then meanwhile, I think Zeratul is going to be in the back line killing the Kael'thas, and Li Ming, or well, maybe either of them, or else that's what he'll try to do. So, or he could just Void Prism and take him out of the fight, or Void Prison and take him out of the fight. So, Zeratul just causes a lot of problems for lineups, which is what I like. But on the other hand, I feel Team Flex Your Noise Subs 2 has a harder to execute lineup.
Much harder to execute. If you look at their damage, their only reliable source of damage is going to come out of Thrall until Zeratul unstealths. So it's going to be all on to Thrall to be able to make sure that they're focusing the right target. He has to be up to speed with Muradin or Tyrael, because Muradin's going to stun, Tyrion's going to Eldritch Smite in and do the best he can with his small little hitbox to body block. But it's going to be all on Thrall to begin with.
Yeah, and not to mention, like, they definitely do not have the poke advantage. They don't have any poke at all, basically, except for the lightning, which scales very poorly. So, they could try a harass plan with Zeratul, go in and out, but without any other source of poke, I don't think they can win the Poke War, especially with Brightwing healing up kind of any harass damage on Team Potato. So, looking at these drafts, I am going to have to give it to Team Potato. We're gonna see. There is a way definitely that Team Flex Your Noiseps can win this game. They have to execute perfectly though, and I'm not just talking about team fights. I'm talking about the entire game. Zeratul has to exert his presence on the map all the time, in different lanes, just kind of put his unique brand of lane pressure all across, try to secure some early Dragon Knights, and try to snowball it from there because, they do have two frontliners on Team Flex Your Noiseps, so if they can survive the kind of damage that's coming out of Team Potato, then they can kind of try to snowball to an early victory. I think that's really where they need to. That has to be their game plan. That would be my game plan if I was shot calling that team. Let's put it that way. And we're loading into the game here. Oh, I gotta fix my labels. So, who do you think is gonna win? Do you agree with that analysis?
Back, I had to get a drink.
Oh, okay, sure. Okay, so we have a pause, so that allows us some time for introduction. So on the blue team, on Team Potato, we have G, as expected, on Illidan. We played with him on Illidan last night, and he was super good. And Passionless on, who is Freak, or otherwise known as Plus, what he goes by many names, is on Li Ming. We'll look forward to great things from him. Isacard, who is also Era Meneguchi, has had one week, or 3 weeks or something, based on his Brightwing play, and he claims to be the best Brightwing player on North America, perhaps tongue-in-cheek-esque. But, and then P Before You Leave on ETC, JRAD on Kael'thas.
And over in the red corner, this is Team Flex Your Noiseps.
10 seconds.
We have Unileska on Thrall, Noise playing Tyrael, Hulk is playing Lily, Zeratul being played by Flex Squad, and Coda switching over to Muradin.
And here we go. So it looks like they are spreading out 4-man for Team Potato. Yeah, I don't think Flex Your Noiseps is looking to fight here. They do not have the best level 1 fighting lineup.
No, they also don't have Vision of Illidan.
Yeah, I mean, Illidan doesn't really do well in early fights, so you're not really worried about him. He's kind of like the weakest one. But any damage they give will be healed up by Brightwing. Any damage they take costs Lily mana, so it's not even really worth it. Oh, there's some nice play by Flex. Oh, it takes the orb, though. He almost got away with some free harass, which is what he needs to do.
Yeah.
He needs to get a lot of value in the laning phase.
Z doing what he can to fend off Coda from this minion wave as the Stormbolt goes down onto the minion, and Illidan recognizes that.
Yeah.
Lily's here.
Yeah, he should be laning against Illidan for sure. He could probably lane solo against Illidan. I've actually killed Illidan's with the blind build, which she didn't go actually, which I think is a mistake. But Illidan's who don't think Lily can put out that much damage early, you get that blind damage talent, and you can actually surprise him and actually kill pub Illidan's. But obviously G probably won't fall for that, but you should still could put a lot more pressure on him. Oh, there's a missed Stormbolt.
See, doing what he can to Coda.
Where is the Thunderclap to slow his damage?
Yeah, need a Thunderclap.
Anyway, so
try to save it for when he got lower, so he wouldn't have the ability to heal up while he was there. Flex Squad collapsing on Z, gonna blink in? No. He gets the
nice
Stormbolt
Stormbolt.
in,
There we go.
and Z just barely. Oh nope, doesn't get out. That cleave. Oh no, it's a regen master. That greater cleave. Unileska versus J-Rad at the bottom. Orb coming in on Unileska. Wind Fury out of there as Passionless does what he can to get him off and do that harass. Forcing Unileska to actually tap here.
Yeah, and that was pretty good play by Unileska actually, using the Wind Fury to gain that move speed instead of attack. A lot of players more unfamiliar with Thrall will just kind of use Wind Fury when they want to attack, but it's great for it's like his escape. So definitely used it for that, and that's great.
Actually got revealed in the mid there. So his rotation to bottom was spotted.
Yeah, but P
The root
Before You
guy,
Leave
P
didn't
Before You
come
Leave.
back, so he's still gonna take a lot of damage. And this is what you do kind of with Zeratul. You're not expecting necessarily to kill people. You just need to put your lane pressure on so that people can't feel safe. They're getting free harass down, and then eventually they can't stay in the lane and sustain those temples. Top, we still got Muradin against Illidan, and it looks like
You see
Muradin is
Zeratul
losing
making
this.
a rotation though.
Yeah, looks like G's gonna get pressured back again. Is he gonna die again? No, he needs to. Oh no, G actually jumps in. He had to actually W over the wall.
Sweeping strike.
Yeah, sweeping strikes. That's what it is. But
He didn't
oh,
take
it looks like he
Unbound,
did.
though, did he?
No, he
No,
didn't.
he took friend or foe. So
Friend or foe is the standard.
He can't go over the wall without Unbound.
Are you sure?
Unbound lets you go through terrain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, it doesn't matter.
He
Went
got
out. He got out. So either way, so my mistake. Just not knowing that talent apparently. And so they regain control of the top shrine. They're regaining control of bottom shrine. Oh, Yuna misses the
Bottom shrine.
wolf.
He did
And,
miss it. Yeah, missed the wolf. P Before You Leave, getting out of there, kind of free as a 4-man rotation down to the bottom.
Nice rotation.
Should have just power slid and left. Like he turned around though.
Yeah, now he has to go
And the
home.
lightning strike. Oh.
He still has to go
he's
home.
gonna hurt, yeah.
So now, oh, it looks like Illidan got the top shrine again, and of course Zeratul is making his way up there once again to pressure that. And this is why I love Zeratul on this map. You're like in all three lanes essentially all the time, and the other team just has to play like it. So he's gonna get some more free damage onto. Oh,
Evasion is down for Z, so he does have to back off for 10 seconds.
Okay, and this is something I've mentioned a lot while casting Muradins, but you can see that he keeps kind of just Hail Marrying his Stormbolts when he doesn't need to be. He had the lane advantage with Zeratul there, and he could have just jumped on top of Illidan before trying to get that Stormbolt, and that would have increased the chances that he could hit that. Instead, he just kind of wasted the mana and the cooldown for no reason. So, Muradin players out there, please get as close to your target as you can before stormbolting, and that means hopping onto them. And you know you're safe to do so when you have the lane advantage. They have to run. So, and the other time he can do that is when Illidan jumps on top of you. So don't waste your stormbolt right away.
So there's a storm throw. Leaving actually went down in the mid lane there, trying to get away from everybody in that rotation. Coda having to back off as well. Z did not recapture that top shrine, so that top shrine is still neutral, waiting for anybody to just stand on top of it. And Z again going in on Coda as he's trying to get as much harass as he can in on there. As the bottom lane that does get taken over to Team Flex.
And
so
oh
again,
my
just
goodness,
trading back and forth.
you see Muradin's build here. He actually went with the Stormbolt build.
So that's probably why he's just Hail Marrying them, because he wants.
Yeah, but he should still increase his chance of landing them by, jumping on top of them. Either way, you need to land them for that skill to matter. And why do you think he went with the Stormbolt build? The Reverb is so good against Illidan.
Yeah, that's going to be their main source of harass out of the poke from Li Ming. And they only really have two people that are going to be up front, and that's going to be ETC and Illidan. So getting that extra stun may be beneficial, but I really think that extra reverberation to harass Illidan would have been better.
Yeah,
I'm totally. It's just him versus Illidan in the top.
I'm totally questioning that one. And you see a blind talent, the duration talent for Lily on level 4, which is what I like against Illidan. So good pick there. And we see the heroics coming out. So it's very even game so far. Oh, and there's some fighting going on bottom.
Yeah, there is. J-Red taking a lot of damage. The Sundering comes down. Zeratul doing what he can. The Root goes down on Kael'thas. P Before You Leave gets a nice power slide in, just a little bit too late though. Kael'thas did go down. Yunalesca out of mana completely, does have to get out of here soon. Is just going to stand around here just to be a body as Isakar goes down in, and they just don't return the rotation. Hulk coming down here to try and stop it, but Yunalesca just now realizing that they're taking the shrine back. Illidan in the top taking the shrine as well, as they now control the dragon. But Hulk and Yunalesca just going to go right back in and take it back, and then Muradin's going to take back the top one as well. it looked as though his Kael'thas was away from AFK for a little while there because he's just now getting back into the lane.
So we see the fight between Illidan and Muradin.
Oh no, he died. Never mind.
Yes, yeah. We see the fight between Illidan and Muradin raging up top. Now, Muradin should have the advantage in this lane because he can always back off and heal with his passive. And, of course, he's getting the rotations from Zeratul as well. Now, Illidan actually took Hunt, and we see a full missile build from Li Ming. What do you think about that level 20 Li Ming player?
Well, the Force Armor, as much as I don't mind it, it may not pay off in full here just because of the damage over time that can come out from Zeratul later. But in the early game, it's going to be great for those Zeratul ganks because he's going to be able to have full stacks of Force Armor and then only take 50% of the damage that Zeratul would put out when trying to dive him. So great there. The Charged Blast, though, not so sure how I feel about that. I probably would have preferred something like Dominance or even Triumvirate at level 4 because the Charged Blast isn't going to do too much unless you take something like Power Hungry at 1 to give you that extra ability power. But Illidan does go down in the top lane as a 3-man rotation, so it took 3 of them to finally deal with Illidan in the top lane, but they already have the altar. Again, I'm not sure why Coda is just standing in the altar and not trying to soak the lane, but J-Red taking a lot of damage as well, going to go down in the middle as Flex Squad takes a little bit of Living Bomb, Flex hands it off to Noise, and then they get out of there.
And they're playing the Zeratul lineup on this map in particular to a T right now. They're going to hit 13 first, and with that, they should be able to get the Dragon Knight. Taking a fight here would be foolish.
Instacart taking a lot of damage.
What a sundering! Oh my god!
Forced out the Emerald Wind and then the Sundering before Brightling got behind the fort to make sure that they got that taken care of.
Yeah, great sundering. They get the first Dragon Knight, and this is exactly what I was talking about in the draft that team Flexor Noiseps had to do if they had any hope of winning, is controlling the early game with Zeratul, which they did, keeping Illidan super pressured up top, killing him multiple times, and then getting a Dragon Knight off of that and trying to snowball that advantage. Now, Illidan does jump in. They still don't have level 13, so this is pretty questionable.
Zoning Phoenix out here as Hunt comes in onto P before you leave, onto Coda. The beautiful 4-man Void Prison goes down too, as everyone's just kind of getting in there to try and get the damage down, as you are going to see Li Ming go down, J-Rad taking a lot of damage, ETC great power slide to stun 4 people there, Unaleska just barely making out of it with his life, Z not being able to follow up there as he does get onto the Dragon Knight, taking out the Dragon Knight, but Z is actually, nice friend or foe there, doing what he can to get out of there. They take the fountain and get out. So overall, they took the entire mid wall. They took the mid fountain. So good for them. That was a great first Dragon Knight, even though it was, it was still 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's kind of okay for the first Dragon Knight, I guess. Usually you like to get 2. Well, usually you get 2 walls. Like if you just take the first wall and then go to another lane and take another wall, it's a little bit safer. But I think both teams played that well there. Both teams brought everyone to the Dragon Knight lane, which you should when it's taking this late. So engagement bottom.
Push in the bottom. Yeah, 5-man push from Team Potato in the bottom lane here, leaving out the soak for the mid lane and the top lane. They are behind, so I'm not sure if I agree with this decision here, as they're really looking to get a lot of damage here. Zeratul just barely getting out of there. He is going to get stunned, followed up with an orb. He's not going to... he's going to get hunted down.
Nice wave of force.
Yeah, the gravity lapse missed, so the wave of force pushed him out of the way of the gravity lapse, but then the Hunt was actually able to come in and take him out. And Hunt will be back up in just a few seconds, because as Illidan attacks, it's going to go down, and it's already down to 30 seconds, so he'll be able to hunt right away, right again. So.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. So they gave up a bit of their lead there with Zeratul getting caught, but still not too bad. They're probably going to win the race to 16 still, which is going to be the next kind of significant marker and the next significant opportunity to take a engagement and the Dragon Knight. So, Thrall's going in there against 3! He didn't see that the other 2 people were helping Kael'thas and got too big for his britches and got paid for it.
Wasted Sundering too, so... that's going to be down for another 40 seconds after he comes up.
Yeah, oh no, Unaleska just Just not seeing the other two that were on the other side there. Quite unfortunate. And now, is that a Dragon Knight for Team Potato? It isn't.
Flex is trying to get in here to do a little bit of damage and trying to wrestle this from Z. So you do see that he gets the evasion up and he's just doing what he can, get a little bit of more damage in there. Avatar was popped as Z gets out to try and get back into the lane.
The fight mid is quite epic, as it's 4-on-2, but they're still holding them off.
Jugs does come down.
That's a big cooldown to have to waste, I guess, but it looks like Illidan does go down top, so they're going to get top shrine. And
look at how little Coda has life for life.
Yeah. Oh no, he's got a... No! Oh, he actually lives! Wow! And now Zeratul onto Li Ming.
What he can.
Wow, but look at that passive healing him up. He actually could have stayed and tried to get a kill on Li Ming. He was healing up so fast, and if he landed a Stormbolt on Li Ming, Zeratul probably would have finished him off.
The blink on Li Ming missed. The Holy Ground blocked her out from the teleport, so she wasn't able to get back behind the fort.
Wow, Li Ming is bad. Confirmed. So they've got both dragons now, and Tyrael's channeling already, so they're going to get it. Wow, so
Dragon Knight does go to them, yeah.
This is exactly why I love Zeratul on this map. You just have so much control over the dragon faces. Now, they did spread the fire a little bit.
Brightwing went down on the top, too.
Yeah, and they did spread the fire a little bit there while getting the Brightwing kill, but it doesn't really matter, of course. Just pads Kael'thas's damage numbers a little bit. Now they should be grouping up with the Dragon Knight, trying to get this fort, but it looks like they're just spreading out instead. Oh, it looks like they're going to group up on the top lane instead.
Yeah, good call there. They do have the wall down on the lane, so they're able to get as much damage as possible right directly onto the fort with the minion wave that comes in too. So they're not going to take direct damage from the fort. As you do see ETC go in there with the power slide, going to get booted away. A basic attack from Lily follows him, doesn't kill him, but just barely gets away. Yunalesca getting hunted down by Z. He's going to get polymorphed as well. Z just barely making out of there. Sundering is going to miss on Illidan, but he is going to go down still with the Stormbolt. You do have Sanctification come down. ETC still alive here, just barely there, but he is going to go down to the lightning chain lightning front roll. As you do see the Emerald Wind come out too.
There's a lot of fire. Lots
of fire. Fire does go out. As you do see Flex Squad just kind of roaming around back here, trying to see if anybody's doing anything. Gonna try and get that free harass onto Li Ming there, as you do see that she does take that extra damage over time, which actually removed all of her force armor stacks because of that damage over time from the Cleave at 16 that we were talking about earlier in the game. So force armor on Li Ming is now going to lose more value because of Zeratul. If Zeratul does get onto Li Ming, she's going to completely lose all of her stacks of force armor, allowing her to be dove on. So it's an interesting play, a pickup on 16 by Zeratul, although the standard's working in his favor here.
Yeah, Rending Cleave used to be pretty standard, but not anymore. So it is interesting to see that come back. We do see Echo Pedal from ETC for a little bit more damage, perhaps wanting to reveal Zeratul sometimes with just his heal. But Zeratul doesn't look like he's going to get caught. Flex has been playing in a great Zeratul this game, so we'll see what happens there. Oh, good stun! They're going to blow up ETC right away!
Yep, ETC just immediately blown up. Hasn't had a chance to use Mosh Pit here. Z taking a lot of damage as well as a 5-man rotation onto him. They take down the tower, just trying to get him out. They finally get him rooted, stunned, rooted, and then you see the Jugs come out as well because they were taking direct damage. I don't know what that Emerald Wind was, but that Emerald Wind just went off behind the fort, so they probably saw Zeratul.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Still, though, you have time to wait until he comes in. He doesn't do his damage that quickly because he has to wait for those follow-through attacks. So, you know, once he reveals himself, you have plenty of time to Emerald Wind. Now, I really wanted to bring back to that last team fight up top where they took up top, and I wanted to commend Hulk's Lily play there where he waited for the hunt before she popped Jugs, and that kind of healed so she was able to get the full channel on the Jugs, and that really kind of won the fight for them. So really good
goes down
awareness.
And onto Yunalesca here, doing what he can to try and keep up, but gonna Wind Fury out of there with the Feral Spirit locking down Z in the process. So he does get out of there with a great use of his kit. As we see Meriden take the top, and we have Team Flex down on the bottom. down at the bottom. Excuse me. Zeratul sticking on to Li Ming here, doing as much damage as you possibly can onto her, but she
God,
is gonna go
holy
down as well.
ground.
Yeah, holy ground, stopping that. You're gonna see the Mosh come down, but Sundering comes down right after that. Jugs with the Phoenix counteracting each other right here, doing the best they can to try and body it and get healed at the same time. Iskar taking a lot of damage, gonna go down to Zeratul here with that rendering cleave and that anomaly spike. So Z taking a lot of damage as well, going to turn around and engage onto Flex Squad, trying to save Kael'thas so that he doesn't get followed in. Also going to make sure that he gets out with Hunt onto a minion in the minion wave, so he does get out of here.
That was great play by G. I didn't know if he was going to get out of there, but he showed, just exactly what someone familiar.
He's not going to get out of this, though.
Oh,
he is
no,
going to get
no.
taken down. He's going to... Oh, he barely
Nice
gets
dodge.
out. Doesn't get rooted. The lightning's not going to get
extra
him, but
speed.
the final is going to get that extra basic attack on the Wind Fury, striking 3 times at level 16 from Thrall as they get the Dragon Knight, and they also took out... they took out Illidan there, so that was 4 down during that time. So now there's still 3 down for another 7 seconds.
And they get the Dragon Knight.
Looking good. And they have level 20.
Yeah, oh boy. They need to clean this up without it dying anymore, and then they need to set up a fight. And this is going to be very hard because Zeratul is going to have vision of them. So, but they need to somehow pick someone, and then, especially with the Hunt, and then hopefully Zeratul.
On VP too. Hunt is up, but Illidan is down for another 15 seconds, so there's not anything they can do here.
Oh yeah, they can't do anything while the dragon's up. Yeah. But once the dragon's down, they need to set up a kill on either Lily or Zeratul, and then try to win the game, like maybe bottom lane or something. Like they just, maybe not in one time, but it's going to be hard, like I said, because Zeratul's going to be spotting them out the whole time, so they can't set up anything sneaky, but that's exactly the kind of play they need right now.
Yeah, there's oftentimes where they're the only play that you can make play because you're so far behind, and I think that's the situation that they're in here, is that they can't play safe anymore. They have to do something that's really brazen and bold, and that probably isn't expected. So you do see the Sanctification come down right after the Void Prison gets popped. You're going to see People Before You Leave come in with the Power Slide. Not going to mosh right here. 3-man mosh. Not able to get them out of this, as you do see Lily pop the Jugs right after you see the Hunt come down. Unalesca's going to barely get out of there, but you're also going to see Tyrael go down. Even in Death's going to take out not only ETC, but barely, Li Ming just barely makes it out of there. Li Ming almost dying to even in Death as well. So that was a 3-for-3 trade there. Even trade, but an even trade against this is a great trade for
Team Potato.
Team Flexor Noiseps. Because they traded evenly, but it was still an advantage for them because they are so far pushed in their lanes that they're, even with the 3 down, the other 2 that are left are still going to have to just go to lanes. They can't do anything else. So beneficial. I still would have liked to not see anybody on the side of Potato die, but it's not the way it goes.
Yeah, even trades are, kind of, it's a double-edged sword though, because the team that's behind obviously gets more experience for the kills. So you can see that at least they're level 20, almost level 21 now on team Potato. So next fight will be a little bit more even, hopefully, but we kind of see why dominance would have been much better maybe for Li Ming in that fight, because at the end she had no health to chase down the Lily, where he might have gotten the Lily kill if she had way more health there.
Yeah, being able to be a little more aggressive with Li Ming while having health is, because we all know how squishy she can be. So just making sure that you're constantly sustained is really important. As you see Team Potato rotate down to capture this Merc camp, Illidan taking the Giants in the middle as well, Unalesca acting as sort of a ward for that rotation, as you see them, Team Flicker Noiseps take the top tower as well. So Thrall moving down one more bush, because you did actually see this here. Zeratul spotting Illidan on this Merc camp, not going to be able to do anything about it. So again, we have party bushes down here, plural.
Yep.
As you see Flex come out here, Coda come out. Hulk is actually
where is Brightwing going?
Here.
Why did
Brightwing she went back from mana so she could phase shift in. Hulk
no, she was full mana.
Gonna get stunned. You are gonna see the Unalesca blinking right out of there. Coda taking a lot of damage, trying to dwarf us out of there, getting pushed back by the face melt. Unalesco running back into the sanctification with the Mosh coming out right after it. It's going to be a full team wipe here outside of Zeratol.
Wow, how did that go so poorly for them? Void Prison wasn't even used. They saw Brightwing, Hearth, and decided to jump it, and which is, I think, a great idea. But she just came right in and had a great Emerald Wind.
Yep. She did take a lot of damage here from Zeratol as he was trying to get that harass, but he is going to get more harassed as she tries to Hearth, but she's not going to get out of here. Flux Squad doesn't have Blink up yet. Going to have to waste Void Prison as Team Potato does take the keep in the process. There's still 15 seconds before the rest of the team comes back up. Are they really going to try and end here without Brightwing or Kael'thas?
Illidan is one of the best in the situation, just going on core, because he is so elusive, you just can't catch him. See, like, how are you going to stop Illidan from going on your core? So I think they're going to do it with ETC's control. With only Lily and Zeratul up, they can't even stop with no Void Prison. They can't even stop him. If he had saved that Void Prison for this, then maybe that could have been...
You do have Sundering, but Thrall's not going to be up. Thrall's up now.
Oh my god, they gotta land it! Oh no! So there we saw how insane Illidan is at core diving, and he just has evasion, he has jumping all over the place. It's just crazy. Now, I gotta say, Brightwing was caught out quite a bit in those early engagements, where they kind of lost badly, and he was the first to die in that fight at their keep bottom. But he kind of pulled out a next level strategy by hearthing home ahead of the fight, pretending he was when he's home he can't be the first one jumped, and then he came back in to land a beautiful Emerald Wind to save that fight at the bottom shrine there at the end. So apparently we're gonna take a break before the next series, which will be the finals. It will be between Team Flex Your Noiseps and Team Li Ming is Bad, and it'll be a best of 3 with winner's advantage. That means Team Li Ming is Bad only has to win 1 game, and the other team Flex Your Noiseps 2, has to win 2 games to win the entire tournament. So stay with us. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. If you enjoy the cast, please give a follow. I also cast a lot of Cheer League throughout the week, so stay tuned.